What is going on, guys? BCD here, back with another quick video, and today I wanted to talk about probably the biggest update that has come for the Steam OS as of yet. This is probably going to change pretty much how you interact in game with each game from here on out. It is this sweet little tool called the refresh rate changer. Basically, you have a slider for your refresh rate. You can go from 40 to 60. So that is the range. Um, why is this important? Let me try to explain refresh rates and all of that good jazz in a very simplified manner. Basically, what it does for you is that it allows you to get between a sweet spot. So you know how there's always been this big debate of 30 frames per second or 60. Say, for instance, you did to have enough power to get to 60. Is running something at 30 frames per second worth it? Basically, it is the response time and the ability to feel smoothness while you're gaming and while you're playing said game. A lot of fighting games, a lot of shooters, you want to be at 60 because you want that responsive time. You want that ability to have that snappy turnaround, those real quick movements, those types of games, those high paced games. That 60 frames per second is a very important thing to have. Now, this mode here, this is basically for all your story games, all the games that you really don't need to be as intense with. Say, for instance, you're playing like Sekiro. If you're playing Sekiro and you're not able to get to full 60 on this console, or sorry, this handheld PC, you can't get to full 60 with all the graphics turned all the way up, and you only can get to like 45, 50. This limiter is going to limit it to 40. So basically, you're pretty much always going to be hitting your target because you're never dropping below that normally in normal gameplay. And if you put it there, basically it smooths out all the jitter, the cuts, the tearing, anything that you see that would cause is caused by not hitting the actual refresh rate of the monitor. That stuff is gone because you're literally changing the refresh rate. So that being said, all it does is make your games run better. It saves on battery and it allows you to get even more out of your Steam Deck. This is a very, very useful feature, and they did it very quickly. This is the beta version, so you're going to be testing it for them. But from what I've been able to play and what I've been able to see, it runs really well. So I'm going to go ahead and just play a little Sekiro. Um, yeah, so this game, I put a lot of time into it. I got to a boss. I'm not even going to spoil it for you guys if you haven't played it, and I just stopped. So um, that was pretty much my Sekiro experience. So that's where I'm at currently, and I might just run around and go back somewhere else because I'm just not going to be able to beat it. But I'll show you at least. You're going to get a scope of what this 40 frames per second will do. And I'm going to take it out off of the take it off of battery so you can actually see the wattage. But I have to plug in, so that's no longer the battery. And I'm literally just plugging in a peripheral, which you're going to be able to tell anyway because you're not going to see um, the little charger icon. So if you want to, if you're having issues and you plug up a controller and you're not seeing it and it's not working properly in the game, but it's working on the mouse or on the actual menu screens, you got to go to controller, rearrange controller order, and you have to just change that from where you're basically the order. So now that when you go into the game, it recognizes that. So little tip. So hit continue there. Um, all right. So as you can see here, It's currently locked at 40 frames per second. So what I'm going to do is show you exactly what it looks like. Obviously you can see that we're getting about it's around 4 watts for the CPU, 5 watts for the GPU, and then you're getting about 11 watts total on for the battery, pretty much everything else. So if you're looking at the game scope, you can see that that is at 40 frames per second. So if I was to go here and I go to battery and I go to performance, and then I go to refresh rate, and I do have the half rate shading on, and I turn it back to 60, as you can see I'm getting more wattage being utilized. It's now jumped up to 7. It's like spiking from 6 to 10 in regards to CPU, and it's spiking from still at that 3 for the GPU, right? So as you can see, I'm running around 55, 56 frames per second. This right here is basically not the it's not as if I couldn't get it to lock to 60. It's just not the optimal way to utilize it, because what you're doing is you're straining battery. You're gonna lose out on battery faster than you would if you were to limit it. But the cool thing about that 40 frames per second is that it actually still feels really nice to play. It doesn't feel any less responsive. You're not going to get those stutters that you get as you're panning the camera and it's dropping frames. You're not going to get any of that stuff. So when I actually click over to go back to that 40 frames per second refresh rate for the actual screen, it automatically limits it to that, so you don't have to change any of that. You see how those fans have died down, as well as that CPU and GPU is no longer, spiking up. You're still getting that weird battery wattage right now. I'm expecting that to fall shortly. I'm not sure why it's still showing that way. Maybe it's a delay, but we'll see about that. But it overall, the point of this is just to show you that 40 frames per second is really nice. It's like the in between of performance and battery usage, making sure that you're actually able to hit that, and it just still feels really buttery smooth. So that is the sweet spot. That is something that's going to unlock you to be able to run those little more intense games at a lower refresh rate. It saves you on battery. It saves you on performance. It saves you on so much that it allows you to kind of idolize those uses elsewhere. So if you want to push up the graphics, push up the fidelity, push up the anti-aliasing, whatever you want to do, that's what it kind of allows you to do. Because as you can see, this is a cutscene, but it's locked to that 40 now. So again, I haven't played this guy in a while, so I'm not expecting to do much here. I haven't played this since the launch window. Like, that's how long I've been so annoyed with this game. And yeah, I can see why. Yeah, but my L's is you guys' teaching moment. So anyways, that's not the point. It's not for me to beat this guy. That ain't the point of this video. Point of this video is to show you guys a new useful tip, a tool that they are already implementing at such a quick time frames, and it's just really cool. So yeah, that's all I wanted to show you. I got plenty more stuff that I want to show you tips wise. I'm going to be making a pretty quick tip video on everything that I kind of have figured out, used, and find very useful at this point. I'm kind of going to consolidate that into one video. So if you want that any like content like that, don't forget to like and subscribe. It should be coming out shortly, just so you guys are aware of what I'm planning on doing with the channel. I'm planning on covering the Steam Deck and a lot, but hopefully not too much. I still do other things, but the Steam Deck is pretty much my favorite thing right now, so I am going to be tinkering, playing with, and trying to make it simple for everyone. But that is pretty much it. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the content, always like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.